Hola friends y bienvenidos a otro episodio de este pequeño espacio llamado Creer para Crear. Yo soy Yvette, la voz que te estará acompañando cada semana, y el episodio de hoy va a ser completamente en inglés, ya que quiero discutir o presentarles una idea que vino a mí en inglés. Y pues quiero compartir la idea como me vino originalmente, y originalmente pues es en este idioma. When I was in high school, I had a very dear teacher. This teacher was my arts and music teacher. And so he's a very peculiar person by default, you can already imagine. And so this man has a lot of particular things. We have fallen out of touch basically because I am terrible at answering his WhatsApp messages to me. But whenever he does text me, he always wishes me a happy winter's or summer's solstice, a happy poetry day, or a happy Saint Cecilia day, because I am a musician. Amongst these very particular traditions of his, he always used to ask me, how was my soul? So instead of asking me, how was I, as we usually do, he always asked me how my soul was. I never really knew what to answer to this question because I was only a teenager at the time, so I always answered well. However, one of these days I decided to start asking that question to my friends, just to see what sort of answers would that question give me. And one of them said, sturdy. And so I started wondering, what is a sturdy soul? By definition, sturdy is something that is strongly and solidly built. So a sturdy soul is a soul that is strongly and solidly built. In lesser words, it's unbreakable. Nonetheless, even the tallest, most well-built skyscrapers fall to the ground if shaken by an equally strong earthquake. Even the fortresses of former empires fell to shambles during wartime. So, can a soul overcome natural disasters? Can it win a war, remain untouched afterwards? I was going to jot down my fears about how starting from scratch might break my soul, because I am about to take some definitive decisions in my life that will definitely change the course of how it's going to go. And it's definitely not going to go the way I would have imagined or the way I would have liked it to go. So I have been wondering if my soul would be able to overcome that, if it would be able to resist that. Maybe starting from scratch might permanently damage my soul. But then I realized that no such thing is possible. Because no, a soul cannot go to war and return untouched, unchanged. It will be transformed. And this transformation comes with new knowledge and new experience. It comes accompanied by a lot of pain. And the thing is, we fear pain because it makes us lose ourselves. It stirs our soul in what we believe is a negative way. We fear pain because it changes us, and there's nothing we fear more than change. But without change, would we really feel alive? Nature calls for change. The seasons change, the weather changes, flowers wilt and regrow, water freezes and melts. If nature changes and we are part of nature, why do we run away from change? I think it is because we have set ourselves so many standards to reach that we reject any alterations that may appear in the process of achieving them. We have made ourselves blinded by our own objectives. We have become deaf, ignoring when life is screaming at us, showing us the right direction. In being too self-aware, we're missing out on what surrounds us. We're missing out on life. And the thing is that life is not easy, because life is not constant, life is not linear. It's full of curves and turns and unexpected hills, ups and downs. It's change. And yes, change oftentimes means that you're going to have to fall apart. that your soul is going to fall apart. Because you're going to have to let go of plans and ideas and thoughts that maybe you wanted to materialize in a specific way, but life is showing you that that way is probably not going to be possible. So you have to unlearn that and relearn or find a new way in which you can go about achieving what you want to achieve. So you're basically deconstructing this whole life path that you planned for yourself. And deconstruction is definitely messy when companies have to deconstruct entire buildings and structures to lift up new skyscrapers. The amount of rubble and pollution and even traffic that is generated because of the machinery and equipment and space that's being used in order to be able to fulfill this new task is chaotic. It's messy. You're literally watching a structure fall apart and coming to pieces just for it to be replaced by something that's bigger and better. Even though urbanization has low-key, high-key killed us in a way, I believe this is the best example I have to understand how important it is to let our souls fall apart every now and then. There is nothing more damaging to a soul than not letting it fall apart every once in a while. Because without a broken soul, we would not know what a sturdy soul feels like. Without sadness, we would not know any joy. Without fear, we would not know love. It's the rule and the balance of opposites. Everything that goes up has to eventually come down. That's just how nature is, and it is unstoppable. So we should let our souls wilt with the flowers if it needs to. Eventually, it, like the flowers, will bloom again in a new way. Better, taller, stronger, more beautiful. And even though it's difficult to believe that things are going to eventually be okay, and that you would be able to find forgiveness in the case where things start going sideways, acting with trust is the only thing that's going to keep your soul alive.